James, we had quite a bit of rain yesterday, leading to some flash flooding in downtown Birmingham.
It was pretty rough in the south side of Birmingham yesterday. We had a lot of rain in a very short amount of time, and flash flood warnings were posted. And we had at least 8 water rescues from Birmingham Fire and Rescue, and other just pedestrians and citizens helped others. But this is what it looked like around St. Vincent's on the south side yesterday. Our sky watcher in the Oxmoor Valley, Joey Amberson. Joey had over 4 inches of rain yesterday, 4.02. Court Bryant, our sky watcher at Crestwood, had over 3 inches of rain, and much of this came down in a very, very short amount of time. This happened between about 2:30 and 4 o'clock yesterday. But of course, after the rain, what do you get? We had a slew of rainbows across the state yesterday. That was up in Blount County. Gorgeous. Kids love the rainbows, and of course, the dogs love the rainbows too. But we have to remember what happened on this date a year ago, March 17th, 2021. We had 25 tornadoes, over 24 that touched down through parts of central Alabama, producing very significant damage. They didn't affect a larger city, so it didn't maybe get a lot of publicity, but it certainly affected a lot of people. But thankfully, the warnings were excellent. We had no loss of life on that day. We had 4 injuries. We did have one long-track tornado that originated in Mississippi and moved into Sumter County, Alabama. But, of course, people involved in that day will never forget that 1 year ago today. And we're thankful today is quiet, but you've talked about this, Taylor. Tomorrow, kind of a complex deal. We have a morning round of storms with heavy rain and gusty winds. And if the air can recover, we could see some pretty rough storms in the afternoon and evening hours. This is the significant tornado parameter at 6 o'clock. Those numbers are pretty high, so we'll see. It's a conditional threat, but if storms can form late tomorrow, they could be severe as well. But the good news, the weekend looks very nice at this point. Taylor, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, James. And something we're watching this morning is the dense fog. I know it was really hard for me to see on my way into work, and it's going to be probably the same story for a lot of you. Dense fog advisory through 9 a.m. Just take it easy and make sure you're giving yourself plenty of room between you and the car in front of you. Once that fog moves out of here by about 9 a.m., we get afternoon sunshine. Today is beautiful, low to mid 70s. Any plans you might have for St. Patrick's Day? Absolutely perfect. But tomorrow, as James mentioned, is when we bring back that chance of active weather. Couple different rounds. Here's a marginal level 1 out of 5 risk for the green color here. Slight level 2 out of 5 risk has been expanded a little bit farther northward towards the I-20 corridor. But basically everybody with a risk of some strong storms tomorrow. First round arriving in the morning, likely to be elevated thunderstorms. They're going to be north of a warm front, which means our main threats would be heavy rain, gusty winds. Can't rule out some hail either. During the early morning hours, the higher threat to see any tornado warnings would be south of the warm front across the southern half of the state. With the second round of storms, if we can destabilize before that cold front arrives, could bring all modes of severe weather. And with both of those rounds, I'm looking at the possibility for some localized flooding just because we've already seen quite a bit of rain this week. We had the flash flooding yesterday, so it's not going to take much for us to see flooding again tomorrow. Wanted to time it out for you. 6 a.m. Good morning, Alabama. We're tracking those thunderstorms beginning to cross over into Alabama from Mississippi. Widespread rain with thunder. These could produce some gusty winds or some small hail as well. Tornado threat in the morning does look to stay to our south, but make sure you've got a way to get warnings just in case they're needed. If we can destabilize by the time that cold front moves in during the late afternoon, early evening, that could mean that we could see the possibility of all modes of severe weather throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours. So a day tomorrow, we just want you weather aware all day. And of course, we'll be here tracking this system for you all day tomorrow and into the evening. After that, weekend looks beautiful. Saturday and Sunday, perfect weather. Monday, great as well. But we do have another system on the way Tuesday night into Wednesday. That's likely to be our next active weather day after tomorrow. Still way too far out to have any specifics, but a day we want you to keep your eye on.
The Federal Reserve is increasing interest rates. Next on GMA.